I was a young boy when I first came on the map.
AMIR Khan, the new young star of British boxing.
So much has happened in my career, in my life. It's my ambition being the youngest world champion. I just want to leave a great career behind. I beat the best in the world, and no one can take that away from me. Like, fighting the best and the biggest names. Winning, losing, but when you lose, you come back stronger. For me, at my best, I don't think anyone can beat me. Winning this fight will take me back to where I need to be. This could be one of my big last chances. If he wants to fight coming forward, we'll be ready. If he wants to fight going backwards, we'll be ready. It's a great story, man.
Well, this really is a celebration of AMIR.
10-year-old AMIR heroes welcome, remaining firmly on the ground.
The hero's home, our newest boxing superstar, celebrated the night away with his family after his triumphant return from Athens.
And it's just brilliant. It just gives me that extra motivation and that extra push to go on and do more. Yeah, life changed forever after the 2004 Olympics. Before that, I was a normal young boy, had dreams to become a world champion one day.
This is just a small collection of his trophies. This is the D medal from Athens, the silver medal. That medal is like a gold to us. At that age, 17-year-old going there, and what he did was incredible,
No one really knew me. It was just the Olympics that when I got back, I had people calling my name out.
If anyone can, Khan can. Who's the man? Khan's the man.
Was it hard to deal with?
It was quite hard, yeah. It was because I was so young and all my friends were like chilling, playing football out there. I couldn't do all that stuff.
Were you ready for what followed?
I think I was ready for everything that come after it because I had to quickly change my mindset. I had my family around me that supported me. That kind of was great to have them around because being on your own at that time would have been crazy. Since Olympics, I've come on so much and I just want to prove to all the people that I should have been the gold medalist. I was getting deals on the table being thrown at me. It was just hard to handle, for a young, I was only 17 at the time. So life definitely changed, but I kind of handled it all right because you can either take two roads. I took the road where I stayed humble and I just kept on doing what I was doing. I focused on boxing. And all I was doing was boxing, hitting the gym, going for a run. If they want to film me, it's going to be boring. If they want to take pictures of me, it's going to be boring because all it's going to be is boxing, boxing, boxing.
He's ready. He's ready.
Woo! When I come back from the Olympic Games, I had the rematch with Mario Kendall.
And he's away. Khan getting in close with a good flurry towards the end of this round.
Switch off now.
He's hunting him, he's stepping up the pace. He scored with a good right hand as Khan. Oh, he caught him with a great shot. 18-year-old AMIR Khan dethrones a legend.
For the red corner!
Easy done before, man.
That's fantastic.
I had a harder spar last week. I beat the best in the world, and no one can take that away from me now.
Si ya me ganó a mí, le gano a cualquiera.
And then that's when the pressure was on me all the time. And that's where we turned pro. That's when we announced that AMIR Khan now professional and he's going to leave the amateur ranks. Turned professional under Frank Warren, and that's where kind of started to make the big money then.
AMIR Khan, the new young star of British boxing. Don't blink. Oh, good right hand.
AMIR Khan is off and running.
Oh, good shot from Khan. You cannot deny that he's box office. Good hand speed, good work from Khan there. It's all over. A dazzling attack from AMIR Khan. This is the big sustained attack that he wanted. And Bull goes down.
Every fight I was having, people expected me to win easily because I came from such a good amateur background. They expected me to fight for a world title in my first fight. So all that pressure was on me. But I just kept training, working hard, and just stayed focused. I had a goal to reach. I wanted to become a world champion, and that's what my goal was.
What did it feel like with the pressure when training and then getting under the bright lights and having to deliver every time?
At times it got really, really hard. If you had a bad performance, then people are knocking you. The criticism came with it. You know, even though you had so many people, millions of people loving you, but the criticism come with it all the time. I had a fight, if I didn't knock the guy out, I'll get criticised for it. If I was hit by a good shot, I was criticised. So the critics were always there, and I thought, well, I've never had this before. So to me, it was quite new, but I had to kind of adapt quickly.
Did you know that through those early pro years that you would be a world champion?
Yeah, definitely. I always believed in myself to become a world champion. I always knew that one day I will become a world champion, especially after my Olympic success.
It's my ambition being the youngest world champion.
I always used to say when I was around about 16, 17, I watched videos of middleweights because I always thought somehow I would end up being a middleweight. So I used to watch the middleweight fighters and I used to think, okay, they're a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish. This guy's a world champion. I think I can beat him. But then I end up being a lightweight really, and then a light welter and a welter now. So I thought I was going to be a lot bigger, but with all the training and everything, I stayed slim.
This young man has the whole package. As long as he keeps things in perspective, for a fighter to be successful, he has to always have that drive, that inner drive, and that desire and determination. And once you lose that, you lose the fighter.
AMIR, all the best. All the best.
Willie Lemon's a nice boxer. He won't cause you trouble. As soon as you start to work him out, fight's over.
All that work you've been doing, running up them hills, think about it.
Willie Lemon put you down in a thrilling fight for the Commonwealth title that was down at super featherweight in a hard fight.
Some of Khan's critics have said, let's see him in a real fight. This is a real fight.
Yeah, it was a very hard fight. Willie put on a great performance, caught me with a shot overhand right, and then it was a left hook, and I remember that fight put me down.
Oh, and he's caught by left hand, and the right, it was a left hook that did the damage, and Khan goes down.
I got back up again, and then the round after I stopped him.
Oh, good uppercut from Khan. Great right hand, he's turned it round. AMIR Khan is the new Commonwealth champion and has been given by a long, long way the hardest night of his professional career.
It was a good test for me because they're the fights that I want to be in. You know, the first couple of fights as a professional, I'm not saying they're easy, but they're a little bit, it's like a 70-30, you're going to win the fight. When I was in my first test, it was against Willie Lemon. It was my first proper test, and obviously maybe I was taking it a little bit easy, thinking it's going to be easy. I'm going to just have to go in there and hit these guys with a good shot and he'll go down, but it wasn't like that, you know. I had to dig deep in the fight.
I'll tell you what though, AMIR, proved to a lot of people out there the heart that you've got tonight. Said to them, hey, look, I've just been knocked down, I've got back up.
It showed me a lot about myself as well. It showed me what type of character I am, that if I am hurt in a fight, I can come back from it as well. And I showed the world that as well. All the critics kind of stopped as well because they said that I am in a hard fight, and I proved myself.
The fact that you were put on the floor, obviously people then started to say that your punch resistance wasn't there.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It was the first time I was put on the floor. I think it can happen to anyone really. If you get caught with a big shot, you'll be put down. People probably thought that AMIR is invisible, no one can hurt him. And obviously when I did get hurt, obviously I was put down, and that's where maybe people just can't get their mind around that. And that's why then critics come from, and all the bad media come from that, for that reason, because no one ever expected me to ever be hurt. Losing to Prescott, that made me realise that I might not be the strongest fighter, I might not be the fighter who can take the best shot, but I need to use other things to win fights. My speed, my movement, my skills, and that's what I did.
Tonight, as a fighter, AMIR Khan has to become a man on his 21st birthday. This is Khan's biggest test. Oh, good left hand, and another one. First round, and Graham Earl goes down. Oh, 2 more, 3 more. This can't go on, it's going to stop right here, I think. It's all over. And AMIR Khan has made a statement to the world.
I'll fight for a world title fight tomorrow and still prove everyone wrong. I can be a world champion.
For one fight, you were trained by Jorge Rubio, and Rubio actually made the call for one opponent, didn't he? And that was Braidis Prescott. Right. Was that expectation a little bit heavy?
I think it was a little bit early in my career at the time when that happened. And
the fight or the expectation?
The expectation, and I think the fight was fine, but I just feel that the expectation was a little bit too much for me.
The Breeders' Prescott fight, he was in too soon with a puncher, you know. So that was bad matchmaking right there.
God does things for a reason, and I was not meant to win that fight because it would have taken me on too quick. I would have then ended up fighting for a world title next, and maybe then got beat and then never made it back. At least I got beat off a guy it was not for a world title fight. It was a fight where I made a mistake, I caught with a big shot. And it's good I got beat by a guy like Prescott at the time, because really he was also up and coming. So really he had never won anything himself. If it was up against a world champion at the time, then they would have said, I'm never going to be ready for a world champion, I'm never going to win a world title, because it wasn't for a world title fight. That gave me still ambition, that gave me still confidence that I can go and win a world title. Still, things like this happen, these hiccups happen. It made me a better fighter. Honestly, like all the losses I've had in my career, if I didn't have them, I don't think I'd be in this position. What kept me going in my professional career and kept me going so long as a professional fighter are the losses. If I kept winning everything, I think my heart would have probably gone and I would have been like, oh, I don't want to do this no more, and move on to something else. I mean, it's hard not to make the same mistakes again, because it's just the fighter I am. I'm one of them fighters who comes and fights with his heart and makes it exciting, but I just love a fight. But as I'm getting older, I'm getting a little bit more wiser now, getting a little bit more patient and not making the same mistakes.
And 3 fights after Prescott, you're a world champ.
Exactly, so no one would ever expect that, like 3 fights after a Prescott fight, like where the whole world doubted me. And then I come back 3 fights later, I was a world champion. And against someone who just come off a win against Maidana, which was Katenlik. And I beat Katenlik unanimously. But by losing to Prescott, that made me realize that, okay, fine, I might not be the strongest. I might not be the strongest fighter. I might not be the fighter who can take the best shot. But I need to use other things to win fights. My speed, my movement, my skills, and that's what I did.
Welterweight champion of the world,
How crucial was the rebuilding phase, going to Freddie Roach and sparring with Manny Pacquiao in terms of getting back on the horse and rebuilding your confidence?
It was good. At the time, probably when I did it, people were like, what the hell is he doing? Training with Manny Pacquiao, going all the way to America to train there. But I was quite lucky. I was in a very lucky position where I was making a lot of money at the time, and I could afford to go to America. There's a lot of fighters in the first 18 fights, they can't really have moved to America. I literally moved my whole training camp to America. Yeah. Freddie pushed me. I know how good of a trainer he was, so I know I'm going to take him very seriously. I know I have to respect him. So that's what I did. And I remember sparring Manny Pacquiao. So many good fighters I sparred with and had wars with as well. So that showed me a lot about myself as well, what type of fighter I am. Maybe that's why I fight with my heart, is because from the days in the wild card. Because I used to have people watching me and I had to show that, look, I'm not going to go on my bike. I'm going to get stuck in as well, because if these guys are getting stuck in and getting hit with everything, I'm going to do the same thing. I've always wanted to come to America and fight out here and make a name for myself in America. I just feel like it's the mecca of boxing. Looking at my heroes from Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, they all fought in America at the biggest stadiums. I've had the opportunity to do that. I fought at literally all the biggest stadiums in America and made a name for myself in America and topped the bills, having my name lit up on the Vegas Strip. You know, it's dream come true, man. I mean, everything I've dreamed in boxing, I've achieved.
You've already boxed at Madison Square Garden when you made your US debut, and you were impressive against Malignaggi.
I took a big pay cut on that fight just to come to America. I wanted to come to America and fight.
Gentlemen, over here, please.
What's that statue called? The Statue of Liberty, yes, there?
It was just the hype I loved about America. When I had that first experience, I was like, wow. This is totally different to anything else I've ever done.
He wants to look $1 million with shots like that.
I think this one's going to get stopped.
It's all over right here. On his American debut, AMIR Khan has retained his title.
And then it wasn't long after that you were fighting Maidana, and there was a school of thought where as soon as you got hit, it was going to be game over. And it didn't turn out to be that way.
No, I mean, I fought Maidana and I was very switched on, because knowing that if I make a mistake in this fight, I can get beat, I can get hurt. So Maidana was a fierce puncher, you know, he was a ferocious puncher. He was dangerous, and I still went in there and gave it my all. I went in there, it was a hard, bloody fight. I've never been hit so many times, and I've never felt sore after a fight with anyone since on the Maidana fight, kind of because I stayed the full distance, and there was a lot of big shots I was throwing in the fight. It did take a lot out of me, but you know, it was just great to have the win. That was the main thing.
By unanimous decision.
Just that win kind of catapulted me right to becoming a big name in America. People knew who AMIR Khan was.
AMIR Khan, can we get a picture? Yeah. You're the man. We love you. This is AMIR Khan, baby. Wow.
How come you can take a bomb from Maidana but haven't been able to take shots from people like Danny Garcia or Willie Limond? How does that work?
I think it's all about the stance you're in. It's about the stance, it's about what physical stance you're in. I don't know, I mean, see, when I've got caught most of the time is when I'm going at my opponents and I'm throwing a big punch or throwing a flurry, and I got caught in between a shot. When Maidana caught me, I was under my feet, and he caught me with a shot, and I took it and I bit down on my gum shield. So it's hard to say, you know. I think it's just the way I was hit. I've been maybe being a little bit off balance at times when I've been hit, or maybe not expecting a big shot to come. One thing about the Maidana fight was that I know every shot he's going to throw is going to be hard, so I had to be ready for every punch.
Then you went to fight Lamont Peterson in Washington and lost a controversial decision. Some people before the fight saying it's crazy, why is the champion going to defend in someone's hometown as you did?
I don't know what it was. See, with me, I left to my promoters at the time. I was signed up with Golden Boy. I left to the Golden Boy and said to them, look, wherever you want me to fight, I was just happy to travel and fight all over the place. So if you think about it, I had fought in New York against Paulie Malignaggi, then went on to fight against Maidana in Vegas. So they told me another location. I said, yeah, I'll take it, which was going to be Washington, D.C. Now, I had no idea. I thought it was going to be a fair fight. It's on television, it's on a big platform, so it's going to be fair, but obviously it didn't work out that way. In my eyes, I think the referee was a bit on his side.
And you were deducted points in the fight, and with hindsight, would you have taken that fight?
I would have taken the fight, yes. Also, he was my mandatory, but I would have taken it somewhere else. I'd maybe done it in Vegas again, or maybe somewhere like LA, somewhere neutral. You know, I went to his backyard. But if it was anywhere else, if that fight was anywhere else, I would have won that fight.
Yeah, we know who won that fight, and I think I'm sure everyone else knows who won that fight.
It didn't dent your confidence losing to Peterson because you went straight in with Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia, one thing you weren't perhaps prepared for was his dad and the impact his father would have.
And I told Danny, if you can't beat guys like this, you will never be a champion. An hour before his fight, who would have done that? I bet you his people wouldn't have done that. Danny could have been the Olympian. That's why it was the worst since 2008. American team, Olympic team was the worst of American history boxing. We ready for this fight. Garcia and his team could tell whatever they want. Yeah. I promise you, this is a promise. I've never said this ever at press conference. I will knock Danny Garcia out.
The Garcia fight, I always said that Angel Garcia won that fight for Danny by insulting his race.
You know, I let it get a little bit personal.
So he left himself vulnerable.
I went in there, threw the game plan at the window, and was swinging with him, really. And he caught me with a good shot and put me down. He caught me with a very good shot, a good clean shot. And it was a good clean shot he caught me with, just on the side of the head. Just never recovered from it.
You ended up spending really a couple of years sort of treading water, hoping for a Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao fight.
Wasted a lot of my time waiting for the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. See, there was always talks about it, and there was always talks about them giving me the fight, and there was contracts going back and forth. So when the contracts started going back and forth, both guys, on Mayweather and Pacquiao, I thought, you know, something's going to happen here. Which never happened. I never want to walk away from this career thinking I never fought the best, because I'll always be thinking, like, if I fought Floyd, what would have happened? Or this could have happened, that could have happened. So I need to put it in action. I need to fight him to know what's going to happen. I got very close to the Mayweather fight, very close. And I really believe that the reason that happened was because I announced it before Mayweather, and he kind of spat his dummy out and said, "You don't do that."
When it's all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, a ring is a ring, gloves is gloves. So it don't matter where you at, the fans ain't gonna change it, the fans can go against me, y'all already know.
Regret?
Yeah, I was young then and I just got excited. That's what it was, really. I got excited and I want to tell the world that, wow, we got the Mayweather fight now.
You think you would have beaten him?
Never faced anyone like me. Never with the same style, or never with a similar style. So that's why I think I would have given problems. And also having a high punch count and being very accurate and having a lot of speed would have given him big problems. Virgil didn't want me to take the fight, but I said, look, Virgil, I'm taking this fight. I want this fight. And he's like, look, but you can get hurt. It can do you a lot of harm. I was like, look, I don't care. Look, if you don't like me, don't comment about it. You know, they don't like you or they want to say something bad about you, your boxing career, whatever. I just think most of it's all jealousy, really.
Are you friends? Is he a mentor?
He's like a mentor, but we're not really friends. I think that might happen after the boxing career finishes. But at the moment, we just like, it's very serious, our relationship, work. And, you know, he's like the head trainer. We respect each other the same way. And that's how we like it. There's no fun, no games. It's pure, strictly boxing.
When I have him in the gym, he's a good student. I can't speak for him when he's away. Drop the straight right to the body, off to the left, underneath, on the second pivot.
Straight on.
On the second pivot. Straight right.
Straight right.
Do balance for it.
The last shot.
Yes. So I give him credit for being a good student in the gym and wanting to learn and wanting to follow a fight plan. Quick hook body. Quick hook. Left to the body.
I like Virgil to be disciplined, and I prefer it like that, you know. I've never really been too close on a laugh or have a laugh with my trainer because you just can't take it seriously. I know when Virgil gets angry and he shouts, I know I need to sort myself out. I know I need to change my game plan. If he tells me to do something, I know he means it.
Nice. What was it again?
How you forgetting, man?
No, I mean, you said to the two to the head,
Two to the head,
body,
to the body.
then pivot.
Hook to the head, hook to the body, straight right.
And then came Canelo, and that was a big fight in both senses of the words.
Yeah.
Big at the weight and big on the grand scheme of things. Regrets of taking that?
Not really, no. Canelo caught me with a big shot in the fight. I was doing so well in the fight. I just loved the promotion. It was the first fight at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, the first fight to happen there.
This is a classic matchup of speed versus power. This takes me back to Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali.
It was a great fight to be involved in. Canelo is a superstar in the game of boxing, and I wanted to be fighting the best names and the biggest names in boxing. When that fight came, I said, I want that fight, and Oscar called me. So most of these fights, I've done the deals myself. You know, when Oscar called me, we done the deal, got the fight done, and I said to Oscar, look, I want the fight. I tried to get Canelo on a rehydration clause, where he can't go over like 165 it was pounds, but they refused that. So the fight was at 155. I said, £10? They said no. So then they took that, they just wiped that rehydration clause out. I heard that he walked into the ring at around about 185 pounds. But look, I knew that he was going to be a big guy. Didn't think he was going to be that big. And when I saw him in the ring, I thought, wow, is that the same guy who just weighed in next to me?
AMIR Khan brings a threat to anybody. A guy that's willing to go up 2 weight classes. And as I said, cross the street to get there. You gotta not like, but you have to respect that.
We had the Canelo setback, a fight I was totally against and never wanted him to take. We were doing extremely well before that happened. He had had 2 big wins with Collazo and Devin Alexander, and I felt he was ready for a Danny Garcia rematch or Sean Porter. He was on a roll. Unfortunately, took that fight, and it set him back 2 years.
Virgil didn't want me to take the fight, but I said, look, Virgil, I'm taking this fight. I want this fight. And he's like, look, but you can get hurt. It can do you a lot of harm. I was like, look, I don't care. End of the day, I want this fight, and then we decided to take it.
You have to have some sort of margin for error, and he had none. They wouldn't make any concessions. It was a fight that called for him to fight above his head against a guy who had all the advantages. We had none. And in a fight of that magnitude, you want to have some sort of advantages going your way. All we had was speed and the ability to box, which he proved until he made a mistake.
I could see that when I was hitting him, it was affecting him, but not as much as it would affect someone who's the same weight as me, because normally it'll push you back, it'll put you on the back foot. With him, he would not take a back step. He was taking them shots, but saying, okay, fine, I'm gonna land one. So he was hoping just to land that one big one, and guess what, he got it.
Oh, huge right hand, and Khan down, and is he going to get up? It doesn't look like it. I think it's all over right here, and Khan just about knocked cold.
Did you guys talk about calling it a day and not fighting again?
No, we never talked about that. I think he took the time off. That was his own decision. I'm glad he did, taking a punch like that. You do need time to recuperate and reassess your career and see if you really want to do it again.
After that fight, I ended up getting my hand operated on. I had a hand problem for my whole career. Broke my hand in my second fight as a professional. Never really used the right hand properly. No matter how this fight goes, I'm gonna get my hand fixed. I didn't think it was gonna take as long as a year and a half, 2 years, but it did. So I got some screws in there. So now the hand is good, and it feels like a brand new hand, so now I can use it and hit hard with it.
And during that time, you went in the jungle.
It was nice for me to go to the jungle and experience, because my life's been all around boxing, so I've never done anything outside of boxing. Just everything has been involved in boxing, and I thought, why not just go out and start enjoying myself a little bit? And I did a TV show, got asked about it, and I said, let's do it. I go, look, I'm gonna give it a try. I've got a hand injury. I've got a bit I can maybe use it as recovery time as well. I'll eat healthy, get my weight down a little bit, and so I went there and did it, man. It was probably one of the best things I ever did. I think when that Canelo fight happened, I was about 29. So I was still young. And yeah, I thought to myself, okay, fine, I had a big loss. I don't want to finish off my career on a bit of loss like that, you know, getting knocked out by Canelo. So I just had a chat with my family, and I said, look, I feel like I want to do it again. That hunger's back in me again. I want to give it one more try.
You've obviously got a lot of support, but you have always had these detractors, haven't you? Do they bother you at all?
Look, if you don't like me, don't comment about it. You know, they don't like you, or they want to say something bad about you, your boxing career, whatever. I just think most of it's all jealousy, really. I get a lot of hate for reasons which I think it just makes no sense.
But you've never been able to please everyone, have you?
Never, never. You can't please anyone. This is the world we live in. I've tried my hardest to try to please everyone, but it's never worked. A lot of success come to me when I was young. And when I was young, I probably didn't know how to handle it. And this is the honest truth. And at times I would flaunt pictures of me with new cars, and you know, sometimes people would kind of see that and envy that and think, oh, he's so cocky, we don't like him or whatever, you know, so maybe that was what it was. But I mean, I've totally changed from them days. You know, I used to do things like that, but I don't know what it is. I mean, it's hard to say. Because I've met a lot of people when I've gone out with the family, or even when I've gone out myself, and they met me and they've spoke to me, and I've stopped and spoke to them, and they said, oh my God, they know you're such a nice guy. Thinking, like, what do you expect? I'm a simple guy. And also being a Muslim Pakistani, to have such a big name and to be recognized with what's going on around the world as well, with the terrorism stuff and, you know, the Muslim being targeted for things, you know, that's a small, tiny percentage, where there's millions out there like me who are doing positive things.
But you think there's been a knock-on effect?
Definitely. Crawford, he's only just made it on the scene now. I'm the bigger name, I'm the better fighter.
I can fight going forward.
If he wants to fight coming forward, we'll be ready.
I can fight going backwards.
If he wants to fight going backwards, we'll be ready.
I can box, I can counterpunch.
Bah, 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 bah. Whatever he brings to the table, I'll be more than ready for.
So back in sunny San Fran.
Something told me that I'm going to be back here again. It's one of them places where it's very peaceful, very chilled. Thank you, bro. See, one thing about being here, I can run the streets here, not get bothered as much. In the UK, I know I've been going for a jog and I'll have cars pulling over and saying, "Hi, you want to go somewhere? We'll drop you off." I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm training." And then I've had someone say to me, "Come, my house is literally next block. Can you come to the house and meet the kids, please?" And I'm not one of them guys who say no. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, after my run, or why don't you bring the kids to the hotel where I'm staying? They can come and say hi to me." So, sometimes you need to get away from all that. I feel fit, I feel strong, I feel explosive, I feel fast. I'm just enjoying it at the moment. Think about winning the fight, think about positive things, sometimes I think about how hard it's going to get in the fight. There's going to come times where I have to dig deep, but I know I've got it in me to do that. I think about my opponent in Crawford, what I need to do to win this fight. I've been there before, I've done it before, I can do it again. I probably will miss it a little bit, but at the same time, the last 10 years have been crazy for me. Well, the last 14 years as a professional, it's been really hectic. So it's going to be peaceful when you got away from that, and I can just hang out and be myself and enjoy life, to be honest with you. It's been non-stop for me, and every fight I've had, it's only got more and more media coverage.
Do you feel the pressure of the spotlight?
No, I never let the pressure get to me. When I lose at the end of the day, I know I have to work hard. By working hard, that takes a lot of the pressure away, because I know that I've given it 100%. Now, if I didn't train as hard in the gym, if I cheated myself, then I would think twice, oh, what would have happened? So I don't think about that, because I know I've given it 100%. But it does now, as I'm getting older, I need to be very smart what I pick and what I do, what I don't do. And I want to just enjoy this moment as much as I can, because I don't know how long it's going to be here till.
Too early.
Hi, Big. How are you, man? All right.
How's the movement in the ring? Come along. Is he going to spar this weekend?
Yes.
You need the restroom? Yeah, go ahead. Keep your shoulders right over your hips. There you go. Don't lean back. Nice and light. Good spring in the feet. From that trail leg. There you go. Push, 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 push. Power. That's it. Good. He looks good. He's carrying the size well. He's carrying the weight well. It's in the right proportions this time, and he looks sharp. Tap, 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 tap. There you go. He's an athlete, and the thing that he does well is he acquires skill well and quickly. Where he's at in his career right now, and as the body ages, you can handle certain things a little bit better. I think he's at a good spot. I think this is a sweet spot for him. You're gonna get more recovery time, because I need it.
You've obviously been unwell, but now you're back. How does it feel to be back in the gym and doing what you do?
It feels good. I've been back active since April of last year. Had a sudden health scare, unexpected, but overcame it, 100% recovered. It was quite serious. I had an allergic reaction to, my back was giving me a lot of problems. And I had to go to New York for a Darrell fight. And I told my doctor, look, you got to give me something. My back is not getting any better. So he prescribed me a steroid, Deca, or whatever it was. It stopped the back from hurting in a day, but I started having allergic reactions to it. But after a few days, I couldn't stop hiccuping. Started feeling weak, started feeling kind of dizzy, a little disoriented. Came home from New York, felt so bad, I left my bags at the door and got into the bed. My wife called to see if I made the car connect, and I didn't pick up. And she called a couple of more times, and I didn't pick up, and something told her something wasn't right. So she left work and came home, found me collapsed on the steps. I was in a coma, diabetic coma.
Through your rehabilitation, did you think that you might not come back to boxing?
It never crossed my mind. I knew some obstacles I had to overcome. I had to learn how to walk again. My doctor told me that he never saw anybody make a miraculous recovery like I did in a short sense of time. I remember where my mind was made up that I was coming back was a physical therapist coming with a walker in the side of my hospital bed and says, you know, you got to start walking again. And in my mind, I could walk. I said, what are you talking about? I can get up and walk. She said, no, you can't. Yes, I can. I said, okay, well, sit on the side of the bed and get up. And I couldn't. So that's when I made up my mind, I got to get going. You know, the strength was there. It's just that being in a coma for a couple of weeks kind of set everything back.
When you saw the walker, that determination, it seems that quite a lot of your coaching is mindset-based and about getting fighters fit mentally as well as physically. Is that correct?
Well, I think the game is 90% mental. The conditioning part is easy. I try to impart on it what it takes mentally to win a fight and to be focused at all times. And when you're in camp, the camp doesn't start at the gym. It starts wherever you rest in your head every second of every day until the fight is over with. So I try to appeal to each one's mental capacities and their personalities.
How good is AMIR?
He's doing well. He's progressing along in camp. Everything is on schedule. I'm pleased where he is right now. Put the finishing touches on it and see how everything turns out.
Terence Crawford, good fighter.
He's all right.
Look at myself as a complete fighter. There's pretty much nothing I can't do in the ring. I can fight going forward.
If he wants to fight coming forward, we'll be ready.
I can fight going backwards.
If he wants to fight going backwards, we'll be ready.
I can box, I can counterpunch.
Whatever he brings to the table, I'll be more ready for.
And I can outsmart and beat my opponent in the ring.
What do you think he's got that might trouble Terence Crawford?
Well, the first thing comes to mind is always his hand speed. You have to let his instincts take focus. If he's in tune every second, every round, he should do well.
What do you anticipate for the start?
Crawford's one of those fighters that likes to have a look at his opponent to see what he's going to do. He likes to start off on his back foot, very defensive early in the fight.
And you're normally quite offensive.
I'm quite fast and offensive, yeah, so when I go in there, I like to get my combinations off and hit with some good shots, but he's very accurate.
Tell me how good Terence Crawford is.
In my book, probably right there, top pound for pound. Very good. A huge obstacle, a huge puzzle to overcome.
He's a good fighter, but he's very beatable as well. When you're fighting someone like Crawford, you can't switch off. He's just a very confident fighter. And if something's working for him, he'll keep on doing it. You just can't let him settle and take control and dictate.
Crawford's always gonna be smart and always concentrated.
He does a lot of everything well. He assesses the situation well. He has outstanding IQ, along with the physical attributes to complement that IQ and understanding of the sport. And he's a proven winner.
We know how good of a skillful fighter he is. We just have to be that one step ahead.
You don't believe he's the best you faced, though, do you?
No, I've faced better fighters. But he's up there as one of the best. But maybe not the best.
How do you prepare AMIR for someone who switches the way that Crawford does?
Well, we have southpaw sparring in camp. I have a very quick guy. He's not as lengthy as Crawford, but he's quick. And he has to be prepared for that. I do drills from the southpaw side. So I expect Crawford, who's shown that he'll fight southpaw 80–90% of the time in his last several fights, to definitely go southpaw.
Speed, in my opinion, breaks and beats him switching, and I beat him to the punch, and I catch him in shots that he doesn't see. So he's going to try to be sneaky and throw them shots in, but we just have to be one step ahead.
Have you seen any vulnerabilities in Crawford's game?
Not that I can think of. I hear things that come from the gym. I have a pretty reliable pipeline on things that get out as far as his punch resistance to the body and to the head. So whether or not that's true, we'll find out.
I did see in an interview, you said timing beats speed, but not when you have shots coming to you that you don't see.
Crawford is easily in control.
He's not for anyone as quick as me, so when he gets hit with those combinations and them quick shots, he'll definitely feel it.
Oh, Crawford gets him! My, oh my! What a shot!
There's going to come time in the fight where you have to show a bit of balls and you have to show a bit of toughness.
Does there have to be, though? Because when you boxed Kotelnik and you put on a clinic, you had everything your own way, and you made it easier than you know, you made it easy.
Yeah, true, but
but that's not what you do.
I mean, but look, if it means doing that in the fight, I mean, I'll realize in the fight what I have to do and what I don't have to do. You know, and I know what he's good at doing, and I know that if I'm in a fight and it's the last round and I'm up on the cards, I'm not going to throw the fight away by swinging with him and letting that lucky shot go in.
Best in the world. At home. Is he the finisher they all expect him to be? He is. What a huge right hand, and he has done it.
You've never given less than your all, though, have you, in any fight?
I've never given an easy task to my opponents. Whoever I've fought, you know, I've given them a fight. And that's the way I am. That's the way I've always been. I mean, that's why maybe I sell all these arenas and I always get these opportunities fighting for these world titles, and I'm a numerous world champion, and I've got another chance again. 10 years of fighting on world-class level. 10 years, you know, fighting world champions and former world champions, selling at arenas, being the main attraction. There must be one reason for that, you know. And Crawford is only just made it on the scene now. Made it on the big time scene, where I've been on the big time scene for a long time, and I don't want to lose that, you know. I don't want him to beat me or disrespect me in any way. I'm the bigger name, I'm the better fighter.
People talk about AMIR and his vulnerabilities. What do you say about that?
I think I look at it two ways. I think that he puts himself in a position to get hit. I mean, if you listen to the public and the consensus of the people in the sport, it's like he is knocked out every time he fights. The last fight he had a mental lapse. He knocked a guy down early, figured it was going to be an easy fight, and he lost concentration for a split second and got knocked down himself. So you have to keep him in tune, have to keep him up and sharp every second of every round, and I think that helps him.
I've always wanted to fight the best, and if you look, I've always fought the best guys. In the last 10 years, I fought for world titles, for the top guys. My last 10 years have been crazy. I think, on paper, this is an easier fight than the Canelo fight. Canelo was just too big and too strong. Whereas this fight, you know, against Crawford's a guy who's coming up from light welterweight to welterweight. I don't think he's ever fought anyone like me, or as skillful as me. So I just feel that it's not an easy task, it's an easier task than the Canelo fight.
He's a good fighter. He's very fast, he moves well. He got a lot of experience in big fights as well. He boxes real good.
They know they got the hands full come April 20th, and I think this is a very dangerous fight for him. I think it's the right time for this fight to happen.
British fight fans were desperate for the Kell Brook fight.
Yeah.
You didn't give it to them.
I honestly thought it was the Kell Brook fight as well, till I got that one phone call from Bob Arum. I saw what's on the table, pound for pound, one of the best, world title. Put them both together, Kell Brook or Crawford. Crawford is way bigger. And I said, by beating Crawford would take me onto a different level. Is a fight that will set my legacy and make me a legend in the sport sport of boxing, I'm taking that fight, and that's what I did.
From a business perspective, he made the right move, knowing that the Brook fight would always be there, but if he lost the Brook, the Crawford fight wouldn't be.
Is the Brook fight still there?
I think that fight is still there, that can happen. It just depends on what weight and whatever else. But at the moment, I'm thinking about it.
This is the final chapter that's being written.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be several pages, but this
It might be a very long chapter. It might be a very long chapter, but you just never know. Look, I beat Crawford. We have a rematch with him. Then there might be big fights in the UK. Fighters always get coming up and always want to have a go with the old veterans and the old guys who they think they can beat. But yeah, I've always said I want to retire young and I want to enjoy myself. But at the moment, I'm going strong. I'm enjoying it, and yeah, I'm just going with the flow at the moment. I'll know the day when to call it a day.
It's weird, from 17-year-old wonder kid to now one of the older statesmen of the
Can
sport.
you believe that? Yeah, exactly. Can you believe that? So, and it shows how long I've been in the game for. So like,
has it gone quickly?
It's gone very quick. I can't believe how quick it's gone. It's gone so quick, and so much has happened in my career, in my life. So much has changed. I mean, I was a young boy when I first come on the map. Now, I'm like one of the oldest in the game with 2 kids.
What is your legacy in boxing?
I just want to leave a great career behind and want other young fighters to follow my footsteps. Coming to America, fighting in the UK, selling at arenas in the UK, coming to America, selling at arenas here, fighting the best and the biggest names, fighting for the pound-for-pound titles, fighting for numerous world titles, winning, losing, but when you lose, you come back stronger. So it's a great story, man.